What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Tomorrow is another drop of Marvel Legends. It seems like every other week there's a new pre-order coming from Hasbro, whether it's with Marvel Legends, Star Wars, JoJo, Transformers, Power Rangers, even though that's about to fade out. But it's so much product, so much stuff coming. And Target just finished their big, massive clearance. So there were tons of figures like this guy here, this Spider-Man retro tarantula. I was able to pick him up for $6 or $7 at the store. That's nuts. That's really crazy. And that's why it's no real surprise when we get these announcements like today on Twitter, because I refuse to call that stupid thing X, from Dan Yoon, part of the Marvel Legends team, dropping this little gem for us. So we all know tomorrow, the pre-orders for the Marvel Legends Void Build-A-Figure Wave will be available at Amazon and fan channel retailers like Hasbro Pulse. So you might have noticed in that announcement, there's no, hey, all of our fine retail partners like Target, Walmart, GameStop, etc. That's really interesting because once again, it seems like there's going to be another forgotten wave of Marvel Legends. And just to recap, refresh your memory on who all is coming in this wave, it's not one of my favorites. Just got to start off by saying that. But here's the lineup. We got Black Panther, The Priest, and Mark Texeira, Run, Salvaludo, other artists as well. But this is what I think of when I think of the Texeira Run with Christopher Priest. Really nice looking figure. This one is the figure that I'm most looking forward to. Then we got Chris Starr. He looks solid. He's very transparent, but it looks like a really good job rendering this figure, bringing him to real life or figure life. You can see the paint job, the makeup of the sculpt actually gives it a little crystalline appearance. Nice attention to detail with him. Not so nice is this version of Justice. I guess I should say it's fine for the version of Justice they're trying to do, but not one that's very useful for the other new Warrior figures they've already done. Then we got the Savage Submariner, and this is based off the 90s John Byrne, Jay Lee look for him. So it's accurate to the source material. I don't need this version of him, but it's fine for what it is. Then we get Nemorita. She's rocking this weird New Warrior Civil War era, so she doesn't even really fit in with the Justice. That's also part of this wave, so that's kind of dumb. Then we have Power Princess, the last member of the squadron, Sinister, so she completes the team, unless you need a Coulson outside of the movie one that you already have. She looks pretty impressive, though, and definitely going to get her to complete one version, or at least the version of the squadron, Sinister. So she looks good, pinless joints, double jointed elbows, bicep, articulation points, really nice looking figure, and so nice that I need to throw in another picture for her, but she's really solid. Then we have Vision, and this is the highlight figure to me of this wave because we finally get a better updated version of Vision finally into this line, and now we get him in all his glory, so he can sit or stand eye to eye looking Captain America in the face, being taller than Scarlet Witch. Very big improvement out of this Vision figure, so I can't wait to get him. So I'm looking forward to 3 figures in this wave of 7. And so maybe it's not that surprising that this wave is not going to Target or Walmart, because you know they'd be clearancing most of this wave out really, really quickly. So some of my friends, you know, we have a text chat where we're talking about all this stuff all the time with the drops and so forth. So there was this, what's going on? Why are they putting another wave not at retail? And let me just think about it. Right now, in my Target, I went there this morning and they didn't have anything. It was still a wasteland. You have to go to Target.com and take advantage of that coupon, even though some figures are showing up for the spend 50, get 10, and then the rest are showing up at the spend 100, get $25 off deal. So it's wacky, but my store had nothing, even though I went to the store last week and saw some of the figures in boxes that I assumed were going to be on the shelves come yesterday when the sale started. But anyway, so there's this question of, well, what's going on with Hasbro that they can't keep stuff on shelves or can't get their product out to retail? And it seems like retail is going, well, you're giving us 4 different waves. Of these 4 different waves, we'll take every other one. And even then, we have to account that some of these figures are going to hit clearance, and we have to put them on sale for $7.99 in the hopes that they finally sell through. And I shouldn't say finally in that context because they're not really giving them time to sell through. They're putting them out one case, and then we might be lucky to see another one show up, but afterwards, that's it. And then those figures that are sitting on the pegs don't have much time to clearance through off of a big sale like this. This would be a perfect time to buy or spend 100, get $25 off to get those Quantum Mania figures off the shelves. So it was really weird because they did this big clearance, and then we got another toy sale for you. So really odd execution of this. I'm not going to complain about it, even though there's not a lot of stuff I want at this point, but a lot of cool stuff that's out there on the shelves for everybody. But then you also have to consider it's not just the Marvel Legends party on this toy shelves for Hasbro. There's Star Wars and there's Transformers. There's, of course, G.I. Joe Classified series. So there's 4 competing lines. If you're just focused on them, there's still a few remnants of Power Rangers, so they're out there as well. And if you're trying to collect all these lines, maybe you're into Dungeons and Dragons, that's another wave, another line that you're trying to juggle with all your finances. So if you're like, some people spent $200 getting clearance figures the last 2 weeks, you didn't really have a lot of money to drop on new pre-orders. So that's kind of this weird timing thing they've got going too. And then when you also factor in PulseCon, I tallied up everything. It seemed like the pre-orders for the more exclusive products, just like the things that you're never going to see in stores, was close to $400, just like $395, $95. So pretty much $400 if you got the Transformers, the G.I. Joe Classified, the Power Rangers, the Marvel Legends, the Star Wars exclusives for PulseCon. So that's $400 right there. And then in the middle of the show, they're going, hey, don't forget to back this Marvel Legends Giant Man HasLab, and that's another $200. Oh, yeah, this was right after the G.I. Joe Dragonfly, that if you back, you were getting hit twice, and that doesn't include any other lines that are doing crowdfunds at that same time period. And then during VolsCon, we've got a whole new stretch, a whole new string of pre-orders up for you. We've got the Hawk, Dreadnought, Shockwave, Helix run of G.I. Joe Classified series. They're going up for pre-order coming in December. We've also got more Marvel Legends. We've got the Spider-Man No Way Home line. And then that doesn't even include the 2 deluxe figures. The 2 deluxe figures, Doc Ock, Green Goblin. So there were 6 regular figures from No Way Home and then 2 more deluxe figures coming. So it was a ton of just Spider-Man stuff. And that was it for the Marvel Legends front. Then you had a plethora of Transformers, because you always do with those guys. It's just so many. Fortunately, if you're a G1 collector, there wasn't a whole lot to go, yes, I want 5 of them. So no problem on that end. But that was one of the few saving graces for me with the PulseCon reveals. There was also a ton of Star Wars products that went up for pre-order as well. Balin Skull, Shin-Hati. So there was a lot of stuff. And then, of course, you got the Ezra Bridger wave of Ahsoka figures also hitting stores too. So it was just a ton. Then, not to mention the Walmart exclusives, we had Big Ben, the Range Viper, also hitting their pre-orders coming up or whatever. Then you got other figures coming. We've got Shooter, we've got the Mole Rat, we've got the Crimson Alley Viper also en route. So it was just a ton of product hitting all at once. So I know some of y'all go, well, y'all were saying there's not enough product. Now they bring enough product. Now it's too much. I think there needs to be a better balance. I feel like at least within Hasbro's walls, they need to have a whole team meeting. And I'm saying that because even though I hate meetings, these guys need to have a meeting where they map out not just what they're doing within the brand, not just the Marvel Legends team in their own silo, not the G.I. Joe team focused in their bunker, not the Star Wars team hiding in their starship, but everyone coming together and mapping out a workable, feasible schedule to release their product so it's not tripping over each other or everything is not coming up at the same time. Maybe G.I. Joe gets January, then Marvel Legends hits their big releases in February. That way it's spread out a little bit more, because I feel like a lot of collectors aren't just collecting one line. I really admire those of you who have the restraint to just do one. And even then, you could still run afoul of getting so many figures just from collecting one line. But if you start doing multiples, it's really wild. You can see that with an event like PulseCon, where there's just so much hitting from one company. And that doesn't include anything from NECA, from Mattel. There's so many independent companies now putting out really high quality stuff. The Marvel G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, etc. squads over at Hasbro need to sit down and map out a strategy that makes more sense so we're not getting slammed with everything from all the different lines at once. Now, for us clearance warriors, that's fine. It's no problem. We'll just wait till it hits clearance. But for the rest of us, and then for the overall sake of these lines, not rushing off to clearance, not showing up at Ollie's and Ross, probably makes more sense for them to also have a presence at Target for more than 2 months before here comes the next wave. And oh, shoot, we have to choose between this Void wave or the X-Men 97 wave. Well, we know the X-Men. We don't know who the Void are. So that wave is going to go straight to Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, etc. Where if there were no Marvel Legends waves coming for like 3 or 4 months, yeah, we'll take this one. We don't care who the Void is. But we know who Black Panther is. Vision's that guy from the movies with Wanda. Right, okay, we know him. Submariner, yeah, he's in Wakanda forever, right? So there's different ways they can maneuver this, but I feel like if you're forcing retail to choose between different waves, they're going to go with the big names, the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, over these really necessary comic book figures. I just finished doing the top 50 Marvel Legends figures we still need, and you all have been amazing with the responses. I feel like with my own extra list of 50 and yours, there's probably a solid 200 characters still left, still viable. And that doesn't even really include a lot of different variations in costumes for Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, etc. We're just talking Balder the Brave, the Warriors 3, so many characters from Asgard in general, more Defenders, more New Warriors, more Freedom Force, etc. There's just a ton of characters still left. And I think the best way for Hasbro to get all of these characters that I and some of you all want from Clone Wars, from the deep trenches of the comic book universe, where in my perfect shelf life, I've got a full display of Marauders. They need to keep their presence at retail and not necessarily run off to get into clearance. As I've always said, I'm perfectly happy with this Target sale that's going on right now. The 10 off of 50, 25 off 100. That's a great deal, but they're going to clearance. That's an even better one. So I'd love for this stuff to stay on shelves a little bit longer, for Target to reorder, so we don't have this situation where, oops, sorry, Hasbro, we're not going to be able to run that wave in our stores. Fortunately, we've got Amazon, we got Pulse, Entertainment Earth, etc., to provide that gap, to stand in there and provide these figures for us. And ultimately, that may be where we see more Marvel Legends going in the future until Hasbro figures it out with all of his teams. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're going to be pre-ordering this Void Wave tomorrow, and if so, which figures you're going to grab. Thank you so much for watching. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.